We're joined by the head men's lacrosse coach at Army West Point, Joe Alberici. Coach, thanks for giving us a couple of minutes today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Zach.
Well, Coach, we'll start. It was a disappointing end to your season. You guys are preparing for a big game against Lehigh, and then all of the COVID-19 stuff starts going down. How heartbreaking was that to find out in the way you did, and how tough of a message was that to give to your team?
Well, it really went in stages. I mean, I think, at the beginning of the week, we're hearing things and thinking, geez, the season could be in jeopardy, but, we've got Lehigh, we're on spring break. So we prepared Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday really when things started to happen. And, in the morning, we're hearing that rumblings the Patriot League was going to cancel. They did cancel the season. This was ahead of the NCAA. We were getting some messages that this weekend was still on. So we fast forward to Thursday afternoon and we went to practice. I had to let the guys know that this was West Point's stance at this time, but we had this one last game. It was difficult. It was emotional already. There were some tears, when we delivered it, and just try to keep them focused on Lehigh. The boys all came over to the house, so we had everybody over our house for dinner, and we were just enjoying our time together and dinner. And I had gotten word through my sports supervisor, Brad Brown, that it was over. So we finished up and eating and guys were all around. So some are in the basement, some are, in different places. And I called them up and just had to make that announcement from the kitchen. That was a tough one. Clearly a devastating thing for all of our guys, in particular our seniors, the heartbeat of our team. Tremendous players, but even greater men. And, just talking about it right now, actually, my heart's hurting a little bit more for the whole team, and in particular, those seniors.
Well, let's take it back to some happier times. The opponent in that game would have been Lehigh. It would have been a rematch of the Patriot League Championship from last year. Take us to that game and where you're sitting. You guys are up 3-0 at the end of the first quarter, but then Lehigh goes on a 5-0 run to go into halftime. You guys come out and you play great and stellar defense in the second half. So how did you as a coach from the sideline see that game progress as it went along?
Yeah, it was really interesting. I think looking back at it, and even in the moment, it was such a player's game. It was a player's game. We were playing our third game in 8 days. So where we're used to playing once a week, and you're getting that sort of preparation time and all. Here we were. We had played. We had an amazing game against Loyola, where we had held them to 2 goals through the first 3 quarters and end up winning 7-5. I think there were 5 or 6 in the country at that time. As a coaching staff, where we could help was going to be on Friday night and Saturday. Sunday, it was going to be up to the boys, and just managing the victory, keeping them pointed forward. That was really my goal. Then the game took off, and it was all the men. It was all the Army men, and got off to a great start, which we're always looking to do. Lehigh, a resilient bunch, tough group, and now it's we find ourselves down. Maddie Manown made a tremendous play right before the fourth quarter to cut it to 1. They extended to 2, and then really of all of the times in my coaching career here and other places, to see a team playing their third game in 8 days, in the fourth quarter outscore their opponent, or score 6 straight, 6-1. I think we outscore them. That's incredible. That is incredible. That has absolutely zero to do with coaching. That has everything to do with the heart and the desire of the men playing the game when we needed it most. The guys were in condition and had the heart and the perseverance to rise up to meet that moment and secure one of the all-time wins for the Army lacrosse program.
Well, key in that game was Brendan Nick Turner. Key all last season was Brendan Nick Turner, and he continued it again this season. 80 points last year. He was on pace to break that this year. What makes him such a dynamic offensive player, and where does he rank up with some of the better players you've coached offensively, with the Thules, Glessner, and the Boltises? Where does he rank going into that? And he's only halfway done with his career at West Point at this point.
Yeah, well, kind of first part of the question, I think, is, what makes him the player he is. I think first above all else is he is a competitor. He has tremendous vision, tremendous strength. Probably the most, I don't want to say underrated, but maybe most least obvious thing, but he has tremendous balance. He's got great balance. So when he creates some contact, he's able to gain some leverage, and people pushing on him, he's still able to make plays with his outstanding vision. Where does he rate? I mean, those are three really good players that you just mentioned. But with Jeremy Boltis being a first-team All-American, a Tewaaraton finalist, top five, which is a top five guy. And Garrett Thuel, our all-time leading goal scorer, member of Team USA, Johnny Glessner, three-time All-American, and was a guy that we converted from midfield, ended up being the number 6 player drafted in the MLL his year. So those are three tremendous players. But what I will tell you is, as good as all of them were, Brendan has had a greater impact at this point in his career. Now all of those guys finish really strong too. So Brendan has had a tremendous impact.
Well, you got 2 years of Brendan Nichtern left. You had some great memories in the year plus he's already played, and you've had some great memories with the other guys, the Thules, the Boltses, the Glessners, and plenty others. What are some of your top moments as the head coach of Army? A couple of Patriot League championships, some wins over top 10 teams, a bunch of victories over Navy. If you could pick one or two moments out, what would you say the top few moments are?
Well, I'll tell you is, above all of that, Zach, are the top moments for me are the moments that I've had with those guys in the locker room. The moments of seeing so many of our players, excel in the classroom. The moments that I've been fortunate enough to be at former players' weddings. The moment I have of Matt Leister, which was the first class I was part of, seeing him after graduation in 2006. Those are the ones that I cherish the most.
Well, now with the season unfortunately over, you've been around the kids a lot more, and we all know you're a big family man. So what's it been like to be around your two children more and to be able to help them with their schoolwork? And what's it been like being home and getting to see the family a little more often?
Well, I would say that my son, he takes a bunch of AP courses and stuff. So Zach, I'm giving him zero help. Okay? So I'm nowhere there. They don't even come to that. My daughter's in 7th grade, and it's clear that she knows what she's doing better than Dad could ever help her. So I have done nothing on the academic front for them. But it has been a silver lining. It really has been a silver lining. The fact that things that I grew up with and was so blessed that my parents, always made it a thing to have dinner and to have our prayer before dinner. Those are things that really I haven't had with my family, just based on our schedule and stuff. So just having dinner every night together. We've instituted movie nights, which everybody gets around to choose. Sitting through maybe not the most desirable films at times, but just being there with them has been special. And then just getting to go up with them a lot of times during what would be practice time, to go up and with Max and Isabella. Up to the prep school turf and have a catch, do some shooting drills with them if they desire, kick a soccer ball up there. Those are things that at 16 and 13 they're going to be on their way soon, and there has been some great things, and just the extra time with Petra too is really has been special.
Well, Coach, thanks for giving us a couple of minutes. Hope you and your family are doing well, and we'll see you back at West Point real soon.
All right, Zach, I'm looking forward to it. My best to you. Stay well, stay safe.